All right, guys, today's topic comes off the back of a recent post that we put up on socials that kind of went a little bit viral. And it was looking at one key aspect of a training program. And it's looking at the way you eccentrically control. So when you are moving down through a repetition, that way of kind of slowing that movement down and showcasing the level of control that you have and to stabilize the knee. So when you're doing a lateral box step up, your ability to not only get up onto that box, but to lower down with control, to stabilize that knee. You're sitting back into the heel and the midfoot of your foot, and you're lowering with control. Because why? That eccentric control is forcing a level of stability through your glute, your hamstring, your quads, down into your feet. You're going to notice that you're literally having to contract your core in much more. But it's this time under tension quality. Like you're seeing so much more work. And the difference being is that a lot of people will do a step up. They step up and they think that that's the most important aspect. Just driving up to that high position, and then they just collapse down onto the floor again. You're missing 50% of the repetition. Like what we're actually looking for is that eccentric control. This will translate into when you look at someone's running straight on towards you, and we start to see, and when they start to fatigue, you start to see their shoulders collapse, the hip collapse, the feet start to, the knee collapses inwards, this knee valgus, the feet are rolling in. That is because they've lost that kind of tensile strength within their legs. They're fatiguing. They've lost that ability to maintain extension through their trunk, through their hips, through their legs. Train it. It's a quality that you can train. It's an aspect of your training that you really, really want to dial into. So the quality matters is kind of where I want to be going with this today is when you are doing your strength and conditioning work, when you are doing your run warm-up drills, when you're working on your A skips, when you're looking at your leg, you're kind of doing those drills, kind of pogos, your work, be present with the quality of your repetitions, because you are literally looking to synchronize your body. You're looking to organize your body and tell it what you want it to do on a daily basis. We spend hours in these kind of flaccid, collapsed positions behind a desk, driving a car. We are in hunch positions, collapsed through the hips. We are, and then when we go to run, we go to ride, we are then asking our body to hold great shape, to hold great position. Within your strength and conditioning work, like that is a wonderful little window where you are doing it from your living room, you're doing it from your home gym, you're in a commercial gym setup, but don't just go through the motions. Like literally every day when I'm working with someone and when I'm cueing someone through some video analysis on program, I'm constantly looking at not just the loads, the weights they're working with, the reps that they're performing. I'm looking at the quality of their mechanics. How is this person holding good position? Where are they starting to lose that position? These are the things you want to be aware of. It breaks my heart. Another thing that breaks my heart is that you see a lot of gyms now, who kind of have deemed mirrors kind of vanity almost. Why would you have mirrors in a gym? A lot of CrossFit boxes and kind of functional fitness space don't have mirrors to work from. It's crazy. Like that is a wonderful environment for you to be cueing and coaching yourself. Like when you're working on this lowering aspect from lateral box step up, you're doing a single leg, a split squat, you're doing a single leg deadlift, you're doing a chin up. Like to be able to eyeball and watch how your body moves. Like this is why video analysis could come in and replace this, because you get to see how your body handles force and load. And because when you get out into those longer distances, when you're moving at speed, you want to be resonating great position like all the time. And when you look at some of the best athletes in the world, they hold great position comfortably. Like, you look at some of the best runners in the world, they are still holding great position because they have great strength to weight ratio. They have great power to weight ratio. They have built a level of tolerance and control in their body through thousands of hours of training to then be able to hold great position. Us as weekend warriors, as people, amateurs, we are looking to find that level of control as we push to greater distances, as we push greater speeds, etc. You can train these qualities when you're doing your S&C work, when you are working on your warm-up behaviors. So you could be poolside, you could be track side, you could be literally, before you go out and go for a ride with a local club, you could be doing a lot of this kind of quality work where you're looking to open up the hips, you're looking to find these good extended positions. You're standing to full extension, you've got a band over your toes, a small mini band, and you're working on these knee drives. You're working on this, just check out our YouTube channel, banded knee drives. A very simple drill, but what we're looking for is your ability to kind of engage and activate your hip flexors, your glutes, your kind of pretty much your hip complex, but show you show yourself that you can hold great position through your hips, drive the knee through, head up, shoulders back, drill, drill, drill. And then when you're going into some of those running kind of more dynamic drills, working on your pogos, you're working on your A skips, you're bringing the hips through, you're driving the knee through, you're the hands through, you're synchronizing your body. This level of organization will just continuously translate over across. And obviously with more intention, under more fatigue, like you can build out these drills, you can put more work into your body, but it will translate. The quality matters, guys. So much of strength training for runners. I can't tell you, almost 20 years ago, I'm at these exhibitors. I'm doing like these, we had like a little tent at these races and events in Australia. And there I am standing there kind of preaching how important strength training is for running and for triathlon. And the line I kept kind of coming back to is that it will help organize your body better, whether it's on the bike, on the run, in the water, like your ability to hold great position at those latter stages and those latter efforts will come from your body's ability to organize itself in a state of fatigue. We can create those levels of fatigue within your strength and conditioning sessions, within your running sessions, but you need those cues in your mind. And those cues are the position, holding no good extension through your hips, through your shoulders, and do you still have that good spring in your step? Are you driving the arms? These things want to be there time and time and time again. When you're in the gym, that eccentric control, lowering with that control, like it will just showcase whether you have that depth yet, or it's something that you need to keep training. Do you have that stability and control through your feet, or or is your balance being compromised? Did you find it hard to pivot and work on one foot over another? These qualities matter. And so getting the quality on point within your training sessions is, I would say, put it at the highest priority. When we talk about integrating strength and conditioning throughout a training year for someone, as we build through a big running block, we're working towards a particular event, a particular competition, we will obviously dilute the intensity of their strength and conditioning work. Because we are looking to put more emphasis into those longer runs, those kind of key run sessions, but the quality's still there. Like the intention is still there. Like you still want that spring, that force going through the body. You still want to see that quality level of organization because we still need that. We're starting to stretch that individual. We're trying to put a lot more time on feet. We're potentially putting them into more complex terrain. You still want that level of organization. So the intention behind their S&C, behind their run drills is still put to the forefront. And actually, this is one of the pieces of the puzzle that I have to keep repeating, that you have to keep kind of talking to people about, because it's one of the things that gets dropped the quickest, as you can imagine. And you've done yourself, where you kind of just end up running out the door, getting straight into the long runs. You go, you probably drop your S&C altogether. Or you're only doing one session every week or every fortnight. But that's where the issues start to arise, because you're starting to then extend your capabilities, but yet you're not bringing in this level of accountability to like how you organize yourself. And that's all it is. Your strength and conditioning is there time and time and time again. We manipulate the loads, the intensities, the complexity of your exercises, but the intention is always to bring this level of organization to your body on a week-to-week basis. How are we moving? Do we need to be dialing in? If we're starting to feel a bit more compromised, we're starting to ache, we're starting to fatigue, we're starting to hurt in certain areas, what do we need to bring in a little bit more focus into? These are super important characteristics, guys. So quality matters. It really does matter. If you're someone who's working in a group training environment, like there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're also working your way through a running block, like you're trying to build towards a particular running event, a high rocks event, take the time to make sure it's not all just counting reps and just getting volume in. It's about the quality of the precision of your movements and your mechanics. Because I'm seeing a lot of people within the high rocks community right now blowing up. They're blowing out their lower backs, they're blowing out their knees, their ankles, because it's a lot of volume, a lot of intensity. Where's the quality? Where are we slowing it down and working on those biomechanics of that individual? Without the accountability in place, without a little level of personalization, it's kind of hit and miss. But it matters. It will always matter, guys, because the quality means that we're working on those mechanics. We're working on just that maintenance quality, and that's what we want more than anything. All right. So food for thought as you move into this next week, in terms of your training, you may be progressively building up the loads that you're working with. You're working through phases of your strength and conditioning right now. You're starting to really ramp up your running. Don't forget the quality. Slow it down. Like squeeze every couple of reps. Like just focus on the quality of it. Film yourself every now and again. Watch yourself in a mirror. Just through the lens of a coach where you're going, right, am I symmetrical? If I drew a line down the middle of my body right now, is my left versus my right, are they moving relatively the same? Am I still getting the same range of motion? Or am I noticing these little kind of areas where I'm starting to collapse, especially in that third and fourth set? Be dynamic, in your behavior. So working on your plyometrics. What does that third and fourth set of plyo drills, what does that look like? Are you starting to collapse? Those are little qualities that I would want to be constantly keeping you accountable to, because that's where you can start to eradicate injury and prevent injury, because you're becoming more and more hyper aware of where those little weaknesses are, those little cracks, chinks in your armor are, and that's what you want to be drilling. That's what you're looking to train. Like the first few sets of goblet squats, etc., you're going through the motions, you're putting work into those muscle tissue, but it's those latter stages where you're going, right, now I'm tired, my legs are blown up, my heart rate's much higher. What does the quality look like? Do I have that same level of control? No. Okay, there, right. So now you start to really start training in that third and fourth set. You start to train, in those latter stages, just like you do when you're out there on the run, out on the bike, etc. That's where the quality is, guys. Maintain that quality all throughout your training by dialing back the intensity at times, complexity, by focusing on the quality of good mechanics time and time and time again. It allows for better movement efficiency, movement economy, no matter what activity you're doing. But again, it's a great way of preventing injury in the long term. I hope that was useful. Speak soon.